Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today we're going to be continuing our card flipping CSS experiment by finishing where we left off. So let's get to that now. So to get started, what we need to do is first create a front and a back to this card. So I can go ahead and create two divs, and one's just going to be front, and one is going to be back. Now this front content can just say, let's say it'll just say hello, and then H1. And for the sake of making this look alright, let's just add some styles here to card. We can say we want the color to be white, and we want the text to be aligned to center. And let's just go ahead and make line height the 200 pixels. Okay, so now hello's hanging out in the middle, and it's just on the front of our card, and we have nothing on the back. So let's go ahead and do something very similar, but on the back we can just say goodbye. Now we have hello on the front, goodbye in the back, and let's say what happens when we rotate this. So we have hello on the front and goodbye on the back. However, goodbye's not really on the back yet, it's just on a div named back. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's actually make our front and back, let's have them fill the entire card. So we can do that by saying we want the front and back classes here, we want those to also have a width of 200 pixels and a height of 200 pixels. Now we also want those to be positioned absolutely, and we want the position of that to be with top is equal to 0 and left is equal to 0. Okay, so these front and back are now positioned absolutely, so we'll also need a position relative on our card. Okay, so now the front and back are positioned absolutely relative to our card here, and it's looking like it's the top left, and we have goodbye and hello essentially just sitting on top of each other. Now these are getting some weird sort of extra margin here from the H1, the default margin from the H1, so I can just say H1 margin just 0 all around, just so it's nice and perfect in the center. Cool, and let's go ahead and throw this up top just to get it out of the way. We don't have to look at it. Okay. So we now have hello, goodbye. They're sitting on top of each other, and now when we flip this over, we see both of them backwards. Obviously, we don't want to see both of these backwards. We don't want to see either of them backwards. So the first thing we need to do is turn off what's called backface visibility. So backface visibility is, as it sounds, it's the ability to see this content from behind it once it's been flipped around. So let's go ahead and on our front and back, we're going to need it to say backface hyphen visibility, and it's going to equal hidden. Okay, so now with backface visibility hidden, when we hover over, we don't see anything. Both of our texts are gone, and that's perfect because right now back and front are just positioned on top of each other. Okay, now let's go ahead and change that. To do that, we want to rotate back so that back is already reversed. That way when we flip over, the text is also going to be flipping over, and it's going to be essentially unreversing itself. So let's go ahead and type back, and in back what we need to add is a rotation value to start off. Now we want this to be rotated 180 degrees from the very start. Now there's just one last thing to do. Because we now have text on the front and the back, we're actually going to need to pull the background color off of this background here, and it's off of the card, and we're going to put the same background color on the front and the back. So let's go ahead and add that there. Okay, as you can see, it looks the exact same because the front and the back are filling the entire container of the card. So we don't have to worry about it losing its shape. Now when we hover over this, you can see we get our hello, and then goodbye on hover. You hover off and it goes back to hello. And now keep in mind this is just an H1, but you can throw anything in here. This doesn't have to be just text like this. It can be totally images or anything like that. So let's go ahead and add an image to the back here instead of an H1, and we can just go and make this an image with the path of this. Let's make it 200 by 200. It's a place kitten. So now when we hover over this, on the back of this card is Precious Little Cat. So now we have hello and then this cat. So pretty much anything that you put on the back here, as long as it's filling the size of the container, is going to flip over and function the same way like our example. So here we have this card flip over effect, and we're now flipping over to an image. Perfect, so our flipping effect is now complete. And because of this, you now have a playground to check out Preserve 3D. You can check out Rotate Y and X. And we can even look at perspective. Keep in mind, you need this perspective for your container. It shows the container how far away to look for this 3D transform. And to really get a feel about what this is going to do, go in here and play around with some numbers. That's just the way to learn it, I think. So if you follow along, you should have a working playground now in CodePen that you can go and mess with anytime to create some cool effects yourself. In later videos, we're going to be expanding on this card flipping effect to flip in totally different directions and maybe not just rotating over. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in this video or hit us up at Twitter or Facebook at Level Up Tuts. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.